Professor Gretta Pecl, and I'm here to answer one of your questions submitted to Curious Climate this year. And that is, what will the Earth look like if we don't stop climate change? This is really interesting for several reasons. Firstly, it's important to note that our climate has always been changing. So the fact that it's changing now isn't really new. The new bit is how fast it's changing and that human activity is driving that change. Things like burning fossil fuels and using lots of energy for all the things that we do and the products that we make, and then other activities like cutting down forests. It's because of the intensity of all those kinds of activities that we're trapping more heat than ever before in the atmosphere. So it's the rate or the speed at which the climate's changing is what's new. And we've already seen quite a few changes as a result of the 1.2 degrees of warming we've already had globally. And it would be impossible to mention all of those or to mention all the different aspects of the future and what that might look like that we could talk about. We could think about the future in terms of weather or transport or energy production or how we grow our food, for example. But I'm an ecologist, so let's talk about plants and animals. The climate has already changed where species live. So all species have got a pretty well-defined temperature that suits their physiology and their behaviour. So we might have a bunch of species like these ones, and they might like to live in, 12 to 18 degrees. They might all have slightly different temperatures that they prefer. But as the water starts to warm up further south of them, for example, it might suit the kinds of temperatures that they can live in. So they'll gradually move down the coast in this example and be able to live in these new locations that start to get a little bit warmer and to suit their individual physiology and temperature. But they might shift and move at different rates, so it's a pretty fuzzy pattern. But in general, as the planet is warming, we are seeing plants and animals in the northern hemisphere moving north, and in the southern hemisphere, where we are, moving south, and also moving deeper in the ocean as well. And in fact, an estimated 50% of life on Earth has already shifted where they live as a result of the warming that we've seen so far. So as we have more warming over time, we'll start to see more and more plants and animals shift where they live. So we'll see more changes in the plants and animals around us. Some of these species, like mosquitoes that carry diseases or something that's venomous, we might not be that thrilled that they've moved into the locations where we live. But these changes in distribution really are the natural world adapting and responding to climate change. It does mean we have to change a lot of our environmental management and our conservation and all those kinds of activities. So we'll have to change a lot of what we do to suit the new species, but there are things that we can do to adapt in many of those cases.